Welcome back, everyone. We're live now. We're live in the room here and live on Facebook and all of that stuff. Like us and follow us. We're going to be sharing the show in just a little bit here. My next guest is a newbie with me. I have with me Mary Denise Mitchell, and she's the owner of Mitchell Leadership Services and Consulting. Welcome to the show. Tell everybody a little tiny bit about yourself, what it takes to be a leader, and also what kind of leader you are.
Hey, thank you for having me. My name is Mary Denise, and I am new to Arizona and bringing my leadership strategy coaching sessions to this wonderful community where I really enjoy working on communication skills and everything else. And to be a good leader, you have to have a lot of confidence in yourself, and you also have to know how to communicate with people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I'm going to go right into this, okay? I want to talk about some of the different workshops that you do, okay? How do you do your workshops? Are they online? Are you doing them virtually? How are you working with people now?
Well, I pivoted when the pandemic happened, so I do everything virtually.
Everyone pivoted.
Yes. Either I can go virtual, I can come in person. I do it all.
So it doesn't really matter. When you work with people, do you work nationwide because you can do it all?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I've got clients in Spain right now.
Wow. Now, when you work with people too, do you do a consultation with them? How does it look when they first start working with you?
Yes, I always start off with a consultation because it's important to know, are we going to be a good fit? Are we going to be able to work together? Are we going to understand each other? And I really like to get to know people on that level, and I like for them to get to know me.
You have what you call it's a communication workshop that you do. You also have a book that you have that goes along with it. It's Comprehensive Power of Communication. I don't know if anybody knows the John Maxwell team, but let me tell you, he really knows what this is all about. He's all about communication and for leadership, for your businesses out there. It's Monday. Let's get ready for the week. I love that you're on today. And let's get not only yourself, because you have to be a leader first before you can lead anybody else, but also your team. Now everyone's going to get entered in to win the book. It's the Comprehensive Power of Communication, and entered in to win the workshop. So it's $197 free to you or anyone you know. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You can check her out anywhere you want. MaryDenise.com. She's also on social media at Coach Mary Denise. You can call her direct at 623-439-5835 or call in here and get entered in to win. I believe everyone who wants to be a leader in any way, shape, or form, especially if you're within a business, if you're working with your team, you got to be a leader. If you're a president, be the top. You're on the top. Act like a leader. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. How does one gain confidence when they're having, to be a leader? How do you gain that?
So to gain confidence, you have to be careful what you say to yourself, right? You have to silence that bully that lives between your ears, the one that tells you that you're not good enough or that you're gonna bomb your presentation. You have to say, nope, I got this. I am the smartest person in this room right now, and I am going to just power up and do what needs to be done. And you just have to exude that confidence.
And it doesn't just happen one time. You got to say that over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. How do you have to build a strong leadership presence to do? Do you have to do that to be a leader?
Yeah, you do. You have to have credibility. You have to have authenticity. And you have to have relatability when you're working as a leader.
In your workshops, when you work with people, is it hands-on? How does it look like? What does it look like on this for the workshop?
So my workshops are very interactive. I don't like boring. I don't do boring. So there's a lot of questions, interactions. You're pairing off into pairs. You're discussing things. There's prizes. There's all kinds of stuff that happens when you have an interactive workshop with Mary Denise.
So you can check her out on her website. It's marydenise.com. Also social media, Coach Mary Denise. Call in here and get entered in to win. This is the communication workshop. You're also going to get the book, The Comprehensive Power of Communication. It's a 3-part communication strategy for long-range impact. John Maxwell, if you've not heard from him, he is the best at what he does. And so we've got our lines open here for everyone, and I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show for it. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. So What is your leadership superpower? What is that?
My leadership superpower is vulnerability. That is being able to be vulnerable and tell the truth and be able to accept the results for what they are. And when you're vulnerable, people see that, and that leads to that authenticity.
Who do you generally work with? Who's the person that you're working with normally?
I'm working with that person that has just been promoted into a position of leadership, but they haven't been given the tools to be successful at it.
Why would anyone give that person that particular job if they don't have the tools to do that? Happens all the time though, doesn't it?
It really
Why?
does. It does. Well, the person exudes some kind of confidence. They have this trust and this belief that, hey, they get along with all their coworkers, they're doing really good. But what happens when you move into that leadership role, the world changes, because now these people are they're not your friends anymore, right? Now they're your subordinate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to know how to cross that line and be balanced and be able to work with them and still have them respect you and do what you want them to do. It's all about influence.
So I see that as not only being that person that you're talking about, but I also see that owners of businesses, especially when you have employees. I don't care if you have 1 or 5 or whatever. I really think that everybody really needs to learn leadership, because that's the way we all do better. And I think the world would change quite a bit if we had a little bit more leadership. You talked a little bit about respect and how respect and leadership really go hand in hand. What did you mean by that when you talked about that earlier today?
So it's all part of that. It goes back to the communication. It's about listening to what your people are saying and knowing how to communicate with them. Everybody has their own way of communicating. You've got that person that's very dominant and they want things the way they want them. You've got that influential person that's the fun-loving, happy-go-lucky person. You've got the steady person who they just like to sit in the background and do the work and they don't really say much. And then you've got that compliant person that doesn't want to go to jail or want anybody to go to jail, and they're all about the facts and the figures. So if you know how to communicate with each person's style, you have a lot more respect. You wouldn't want to give somebody that's an influential person that likes to be the party person, you wouldn't want them to have a boring project.
Real quickly, why is it important to disrupt the way we do leadership?
Because it's time. It's time we start doing things differently so that we can see more happiness and positivism in the world and in the workforce.
I really truly believe in that, and that's what I just said earlier. If we all had a little bit leadership and we all took respect for other people and we treated people, if we knew how to treat people the way we should, and if we understood their personalities, I think that's really big. And I think John Maxwell really does teach that quite a bit. And so we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win. This is a communication workshop. Also, you're going to get the comprehensive power of communication, a 3-part communication strategy for long-term impact. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Check her out on her website. It's coachmarydenise.com.